Hello and welcome to another video in the Learning How to Draw series. Today I'm going to be following somewhat a video by Jessica Hopper, how to draw a mouth. This has 744,000 views currently on YouTube. So let's go.
So to start with, we want to think about the shapes that our mouth makes, just like any other feature. So usually how I start a mouth is with kind of a rounded, upside down triangle. And then we think about our mouth as like a set of kind of teardrop shapes, kind of tube-like. And we make two equal ones off to the side here, and two overlapping that upside down triangle. So knowing those shapes kind of helps us get the form of the mouth, because from here we can create the line created between our lips, and then we can create the shape of the lips around the outside. And I like to practice with this first to help me find the form, so the 3D form, not just a shape. But once you start to get the hang of it, you can kind of start to omit those sorts of shapes. So then we can just focus on the line between our lips. Everybody is different, so maybe some of you might have a flatter mouth like this, and maybe some wider lips. Some of us might have really curvy lips. Maybe your upper lip is thin, maybe it's thick. And some of us might have big, full lips. So it's always important to keep in mind that everybody is different. So we have to observe closely so that we draw what we're seeing and not what we think we see. So I'm going to start by drawing my own mouth. So what I like to do is I like to start by looking at the line created between my lips. So what does that initial line look like? So my lips kind of slant downward and kind of curve up just a little bit at the edges. And they aren't very thick, but they aren't super thin. They're kind of average. So they're about the same on the top as they are on the bottom in terms of thickness. And they kind of move outwards here. Now when I'm doing the outline right here, I'm drawing very lightly because it doesn't look good to have a strong line around the outsides of your lips. Otherwise you're going to look like you're wearing eyeliner or lip liner, and I'm sure most of you aren't. Unless if you do really like makeup, then by all means draw that line in a little darker. But I draw that area lightly so that I can erase it later. The darkest area on your lips is that line where your two lips meet. And then generally around the edges of your mouth, because that is kind of what's in shadow. So as you can see, I'm kind of following the form of my lips. They kind of curve out and around. So I'm following that curve with most of my shading. So curving around the mouth using those cross contour lines. And you don't want to overdo it with the lines in your lips. So if you have dry lips, don't overdo it with those lines because it does start to look kind of monstrous. You can have some of them by all means, because if they're there you should draw them, but don't draw them with like a really strong dark line all over your mouth because it might look a little funky. Then usually along the sides of your upper lip, it's going to be more in shadow than anywhere else because it's kind of overhanging over the mouth. So think about which areas stick out farther. So the areas that stick out farther are going to be highlighted, so they'll be brighter. And the areas that are underneath or moving inwards tend to be more in shadow. So I can use my eraser to kind of pick out highlights and remove those lines, because I don't really like those lines there. It looks a little too drawn and not quite.
And there we have it. Lips, mouth, a bit of a chin and a bit of a shadow of a nose there. And again, I think my shading lets me down a bit here. I really need to learn to shade properly. It might be my pencil, because even when I put it flat, it's not great, but I'm sure the right person can make any pencil, you know, work to their advantage. So I look forward to that. If you liked this video, then I look forward to seeing you in the next one.